Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Thursday, the 15th of February. I hope that you all survived your Valentine's Day and that your Valentine's did something lovely for you if that's your thing. And I also hope you all had opportunity to acknowledge, to participate in Ash Wednesday. Get those ashes traced on your head to recognize and remember where we come from, where we're going, but also the beauty of the cross that is traced on our foreheads. It reminds us that where life might seem to have come to ash, resurrection is given to us all. And I don't think we really have to wait until after death. I think resurrection can happen in our lives right now, but not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about I'm working through my day by day, or my daily bread, our daily bread here. And this one is from Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Can you imagine how many of these I have? I'll be getting these forever. Anyway, they're good little books. The scripture that it starts with is from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. We live by faith, not by sight. And the author here, Bill Crowder, says, the impala, a member of the antelope family, is able to jump up to 10 feet high and 30 feet in length. It is an incredible feat and no doubt essential to its survival in the African wild. Yet at many impala enclosures found in zoos, you'll find that the animals are kept in place by a wall that's merely 3 feet tall. How can such a low wall contain these athletic animals? It works because impalas will never jump unless they can see where they'll land. The wall keeps the impalas inside the structure because they can't see what's on the other side. As humans, we're not all that different. We want to know the outcome of a situation before we move forward. The life of faith, however, rarely works that way. Writing to the church at Corinth, Paul reminded them, we live by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 7. Jesus taught us to pray, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Matthew 6, verse 10. But that doesn't mean we'll know his outcomes beforehand. Living by faith means trusting his good purposes, even when those purposes are shrouded in mystery. In the midst of life's uncertainties, we can trust his unfailing love. No matter what life throws at us, we make it our goal to please him. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 9. And he prays, so often, Father, I'm frozen by uncertainty and fear. I pray that you'll guide my steps as I trust you for your good will to be done. I don't know about you, but I understand that. There are times when I look back on my life and almost like, an impala in the wild, looking at those impalas in the zoo, who are caught behind those tiny little walls, looking at them and saying, what's out here is amazing. All you have to do is jump over that wall, and yet you won't. That's me looking back on my life now, looking back on my life before I had the courage to go back to school. I remember in my undergrad, I did miserably. I was not, my first year, I wasted it. I didn't do the work I should have done. I was miserable. I was unhappy. I had trouble making friends. I was watching my sisters get boyfriends, and I was, doing my own thing and, couldn't meet anybody to save my life. Took a year off and came back and really applied myself and got involved and still didn't meet a guy, but made lots of friends. And I joined student council, and I had experiences that I never would have guessed I could have. Because when I was in my first year, I was looking around and all I could see was the wall. All I could see is that wall. And while my brain was saying, you could step over that wall, you've got long legs, my heart was saying, no way. No way, because I don't know what I'm going to stand on. If I drop my right foot over that wall, what happens if there's nothing beneath it? What if it's a cliff? What if it's a bog? What if it's quicksand? Nope, I'll stay right where I am. And I took my year off, and it forced me to go outside that wall. It wouldn't allow me to stay inside that wall, the comfortable space of the college, the university college I went to. All of the things that I thought made me so comfortable, I began to realize were the very things that were making me uncomfortable. And I took a year, and I realized how much I wanted to learn about what was inside that wall. With the difference being, I knew That when I learned everything I could that was in from within that environment, inside that wall, I knew that was on the other side of the wall wasn't going to hurt me. Wasn't going to be easy. Wasn't going to be a walk in the park. There'd be times when I might step into quicksand. There'd be times when I might step off the cliff side of a cliff. But it wasn't going to kill me. It was going to make me stronger. I really hate that phrase, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But it's true. I hate it, but it's true. When we take a step, when we put our leg outside that wall and realize that what's out there is much more challenging. It is much scarier. It is much more daunting. That's when it's inside that wall. But there's a little part of us that says, I don't want to settle. Now that I know what's out here, I don't want to settle for what's inside that wall. We get the courage to step outside the wall because we have our vision lengthened. We can see beyond the wall itself. Like an impala outside the wall, we can see out into the wild. We can see the dangers that are ahead of us, but then we can also avoid them. We can see the beauty that lies ahead of it, and we can run toward it. But we can't do that when we let ourselves allow ourselves to be held back by that wall, by that enclosure that keeps us from becoming more of who we're called to become. I have met very, very few people in my life who have fulfilled, some, but not very many, people who have fulfilled the potential God placed within them to become critical thinking, interesting, interested, intelligent people who had gifts to offer the world and gifts the world needed to give them, who stayed inside their wall. At some point, they had to have the courage to step out and say, okay, I know I can't go back. Because that's what happens when you step outside the wall. You can't go back. But if I step out in faith, I will trust that it will be okay. Now, I need to address something that a lot of people get really hung up on, especially with the way the church is talked about these days. Just because you step out in faith does not mean that God is going to make everything easy. Think about that. If you never had to study for an exam, if you never had to charm the love of your life, if you never had a fight with them and realized how important it is to make up with them, to forgive each other, to apologize, to do the work of becoming a better person, how quickly do you think you would become a boring person? We all need challenges. And the fact is that we are not being punished if something bad happens in our lives. It could be the will of another human being. We didn't get that promotion because somebody else was an arse and bribed the person who was giving it, or they stole our work, or whatever. But the point is, that doesn't mean God stole your promotion from you. Someone else exercised their free will. But that does not stop you from saying to God, number one, I'm angry. Number two, how can I continue to work hard for that promotion myself? Or find a new place. That's the thing. We get this rut that we think that we have to walk this path and not realize that God may be inviting us to veer off over here. I'll use the promotion thing as an example. If you are denied a promotion for completely nefarious reasons, is that a company that you want to stay with? Now, it might be. That just might have been a one-off. But if you work for a company that allows people to walk all over other people and to cheat, and you are an honest person who has gifts to share, skills in that job, might you be happier if you move to a different company where you could earn that promotion and get it, and you could help other people earn theirs as well, rather than hanging out in that pit of vipers where, you can work hard, but someone can steal your work? It may not always be an option, but sometimes it is. Sometimes we just have to think, okay, I can no longer walk this place. I can no longer stay behind this wall. So I'm going to try landing over here. Probably not going to be worse. May indeed be a lot better. As we continue to walk the journey that we are given to live until that day when it's time for the journey, this part of the journey to end. Why not step outside the wall? Why not say to ourselves, okay, if I am not fulfilled in this part of my life, what if I took my gifts and my skills and my interests and I went over here? Is it going to be scary? Yes. Am I going to potential to fail? Absolutely. But so is it over here. Just because it's the little, environment behind the wall that doesn't mean it's the best one for you. Maybe you need to step outside the wall and find a new environment and discover all the glory and the wonder and the joy that can be out there. God did not promise us that everything would be easy, but God has promised us we will never walk alone. Jump the wall, folks. Jump the wall and take your chances. You may be pleasantly surprised. Have a great day, and God bless. I'll see you tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.